Hello and welcome to a very special show here at the India Today group. Joining us today is our special guest, Bella Bajaria. Bella was named the head of global TV at Netflix in 2020, overseeing all scripted and unscripted series from around the world. She leads the team for all television and is responsible for several hit shows, which I'm sure you've all watched, including Bridgerton, The Queen's Gambit, Lupin, Unorthodox, Dark Desire, Indian Matchmaking, and several more. Joining us around the table today is a stellar lineup of some of India's top talent. Anil Kapoor, Shefali Shah, Sakshi Tanwar, and Rajkumar Rao. With lots to talk about in terms of the opportunities in storytelling, the hit series that they've already done, that are oncoming, and much more here at Netflix India. Thank you all so much for joining us on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Bella, let me start off with you. You're known and you've carved that niche, that reputation. You know, you've been promoted to global head of TV on the back of your penchant for finding those unique stories around the world. You know, tell us a little bit about your journey at Netflix, how you've really managed to hone in on local language talent that resonates with audiences worldwide.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. You know, I think it's interesting. I look at my job now as head of global TV at Netflix, and it really is what is so gratifying to me, a connection of my life personally and professionally, right? I'm an Indian woman growing up in America and never saw myself represented on screen, right? Never saw my story told. And, worked in Hollywood for many years. And when I went to Netflix, this idea of actually telling just really local, authentic stories, but with a global platform, was really powerful and interesting. And so traditionally, Hollywood's always exported stories around the world. And what's really been amazing to see is to have local language series that are authentic in their own country and provide them sort of a global platform. So for people to discover like these amazing actors here, obviously very famous and very popular in India, but to have an entire world see their work in that way, right, is a really exciting thing to be a part of. But I'd say whether it's, right, Mumbai or Madrid or Hollywood, it really is about a creator's vision. Somebody walks in the door and they have something to say, and the creativity and really creator first, story first, vision first, and staying authentic to that vision is, I think, why these shows have resonated. And my entire career has been that. Find a vision, back a creator's vision, support them, and kind of get out of the way. It's really sort of, I'd say, the magic to it. And that's really what we do, globally in all of these countries.
Shefali, you played the lead role, a very gripping, powerful role in a show that went on to win at the International Emmys. And we know there's a second season coming out, talking about season 2. As an actor, how did this challenge you? What was the kind of experience in working on a show like this? Was it far more nuanced, perhaps, on an OTT platform with the kind of script that you had to work with than what we've seen perhaps happen before in Indian cinema?
Hi, Abha. Thank you for having me. Yes, it's not easy, but it's very interesting because when you're doing a series, you have the opportunity of 8 hours of film to create a character. So it's extremely exciting for an actor, but with that comes great responsibility. And Delhi Crime wasn't easy because when you're talking about something that actually happened, sensitivity is paramount. And I think that was one of the USPs of DC, is that it did not do anything to sensationalize it. It just told a story authentically, organically, and honestly, touching all the chords that everyone felt when the incident happened. And along with that, also, I'm so glad that my debut on an OTT platform was Netflix and was Delhi Crime. I couldn't have asked for better because, also what was interesting is DC changed it became my learning curve.
My, that's what everyone's talking about now. And you had a phenomenal response. For you, how was this a breakout moment, as an actor, seeing the kind of response from viewers, the fact that you managed to essay such a thrilling role. It's been called, very layered. Your performance is being raved about. For you, what's the experience been like?
Well, it took me 20 years to do something like this, and I have to thank Shefali, Delhi Crime, and Netflix for these kind of shows, because they really opened the gate for a lot of other actors and different kind of storytelling. And I'm glad that I got to do this, but I have to be very honest, I was quite scared in the beginning. I wasn't even sure whether the creators wanted me for this role because I was like, no, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'll not be able to pull this off because this was too much out of my comfort zone. I'd never done something like this. And I remember telling Atul Mongia, director and creator, that I'm very scared. And I'm glad that they thought I fit the role, and they had more confidence in me than I had. And yes, it was very challenging. I was on my toes all the time. Like Shefali said, it changed a lot of things for me also. And I unlearned a lot. While I learned something new, this was also like a constant process to unlearn what I have been doing over the years. So there were scenes which I would do in a certain way, and the directors would come and tell me, no, let's do this way. And it's such an exciting phase. I mean, there is so much to experiment, so much to explore, so much to experience. I mean, I think it's the best phase we are in.
And I think, speaking when we talk about these two incredible women and their body of work all the time, but to see these two performances of a female character with just such complexity and humanity and such bold storytelling in that way. And that's what I do love about the shows on Netflix and the shows on Netflix India, right? There's just these characters and these roles and these settings that people can be surprising sort of in the roles that they play. And they surprise the audience and really push that performance. But, two of the most incredible performances on screen.
So let's not leave the wonderful gentlemen out on this conversation, because they've also been surprising, both of you. Anil, I'll come to you first, because you've picked very unconventional roles in some of your work on Netflix. Are you having a lot of fun? How are you going about selecting these pieces? What for you as an actor is the meaning or the satisfaction of doing some of these roles after you've done several films?
Well, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be on this panel speaking to you. Thank you so much. Well, of course, the first film, it was an original film which I did for Netflix, was AK versus AK, and I think that's the best decision I could do as an actor. And the kind of love I got for AK versus AK was absolutely, I cannot even, put it in words. And I'm still getting it. There are times I'm working since last, more than 4 decades, but every decade there is a possibility that people might forget me. So how do I reinvent myself? How do I keep myself relevant? And I think can't be better time for me and to work on a platform like Netflix, who's not only a great platform, but I can say that, I know other platforms, I want to work with everybody, but I say it because it's the best aesthetics. When you want to go on a platform, you just love going on Netflix.
Do you then feel that the allure of the big screen in a market like India is diminishing, given platforms like OTT?
I think we all will survive. It depends. It's not that nothing, I'm nobody to really predict things. But I said what I can see for so many years, that a lot of, technology will keep on improving, will keep on changing. But I think everybody will survive. Everybody will, films which are for the platform are going to be, which will do great. They will people watch it. And in theaters also, there will be certain films which are, tentpole films and big event films will do extremely well. So, it's great time for us, for content makers, for actors, for, technicians. It's like a revolution at the moment, and we should make the most of it.
Raj, talking about films and series, one of your very popular films, Badhai Ho, was licensed on Netflix, where it continued to see a phenomenal response. Then from White Tiger to, I think you've got Monica, Oh My Darling coming up, as well as a series that everyone's talking about, the first one, Guns and Gulabs. So I love your performances. There's always a surprise. There's always a character that you didn't expect. You seem to be having a lot of fun. Tell us about, your journey so far with Netflix and the kind of work that you've been doing.
Thank you, Haba. Very happy to be here. So my journey with Netflix started actually with when Netflix acquired Ludo, and that was the first time any of my films came directly on an OTT platform on Netflix. And it was the first time, so I didn't know how people would react and what's the response gonna be. But the way people reacted to it, and the kind of love I was getting for Ludo, it just opened my eyes that it's a huge platform. There's a very, very wide audience out there who prefer watching films on Netflix. And then White Tiger happened, and then it just multiplied from there. And now very excited to just finish Guns and Gulabs and Monica, Oh My Darling. So I think I share a very good association with Netflix, and I'm of course friends with a lot of people out here in this office, and they're wonderful people, one of the best people that I worked with in the industry in whatever, like a small span of my career. But I think, as Anil sir said, there are of course several OTT platforms, but when it comes to work ethics and the way they make you feel comfortable, the kind of content they are creating and producing, I think there's nobody like Netflix.
The audience that you're catering to, would that be more local, going regional? Would it be global? I mean, of course, it is also global. But when you're looking at more and more content here in India, are you looking for content that will appeal to the local audience? Is that really where the strength is in building market share here? Or is it a bigger story?
So I'd say for Netflix as a whole, right, in every country, including India, right? India, great because consumers, right, probably love entertainment, amazing history of cinema and filmmakers, and there's great creative talent here. So, that's amazing to be able to really, work with the local talent here. But Netflix as a whole, right, has always been about making local authentic stories in the country that it's in. So being very relevant to the country. Because I also feel like when you try to make a show for everyone, you make a show for no one. And so when people come to me, they go, I have an international show. And I was like, what does that mean? It really is like, just what is the vision of your story in whichever country you're telling? And that could be in Yiddish of unorthodox, right? That could be in Spain, right? With Money Heist and in Hollywood, right? Authentically an American Hollywood story that ends up sort of connecting with people and traveling. And so for us, I think what is interesting is that to come here and say, the talent here, the local authentic here, and making sure people in India love it. It feels relevant, it feels surprising, it feels bold, and there's a great variety of talent that they love, and that's the most important thing. The difference is we also give it on a global platform. So everything we launch that we make originally, right, we launch to everybody in the world at the same time. So that's the difference, right? The access for storytelling.
But honestly, I feel like, just adding to what she's saying, like as an audience, when I watch a Money Heist, I don't really feel while watching it that I'm watching a Spanish show. Though it's in Spanish language, it's foreign to me. But I'm totally invested in those characters. I feel like I'm a part of their world. I think that's the fun of being in this field, that it doesn't matter which country you're from, what story are you saying. Once you're connected to that character, it becomes a part of you. Like when I watch Ozark, I feel like I'm in that world. I want these people to get out of that situation. So I think that's the beauty of cinema.
And I think that goes to, right, the universal themes, right? In the end of the day, you can connect with people through storytelling, right? You watch these performances of these actors and you're taken on this journey and you're immersed in that world. And it really is, no matter the language, the country it's shot in, it's that universal themes that connects all of us.
And of course, I think for the students of cinema, and for the younger generation, for the generation which is going to come, having this platform, like, and because otherwise, in the past, when I started my career, I had to travel to Pune Institute to the archives to watch, all the great films like Kurosawa's film and the old films like Throne of Blood. And there are so many other films. I had to travel all the way for 4 or 5 hours to watch those films. Today, I'm doing Thar, which is a kind of a film which is rooted in India, based in Rajasthan, but it's a Western noir. So what I just go and watch every film on the platform and just keep on watching it. And of course, the young generation is going to do that. And obviously, the content is going to become better and better because everything is available for them to watch and learn and experience.
Shefali, in terms of the kind of issues as well that Netflix takes up, there are, of course, a lot of gender and diversity related roles or issues related to women that are put in the spotlight, clearly lead roles, powerful roles for women actors as well. Would you as an actor look at perhaps doing more such roles? Do you feel that that's something that you'd like to explore, or sort of the universe is an oyster? You could go for, a variety of things, of course, but given Netflix's focus on also ensuring that they touch upon some of these key issues.
It's not necessary that every story needs a moral.
Fair enough.
It doesn't have to have a social statement,
Yeah.
So I mean, but I have to admit one thing, that Delhi Crime on Netflix changed my position. It became, it changed it changed people's perception of me. What I aspired to do for so many years, it finally took shape because of DC. I touch wood, I've been blessed with love and respect, but it didn't translate into work. It finally got down to, what do you do? Oh, we don't know what to do with. It's not age appropriate. So either you're a heroine in films, which is a shelf life of exactly 18 to 22. Unfortunately, the expiry date comes really fast. Or you're mother, sister, neighbor, chachi. What is strange is, when I was saying this earlier, I realized one thing, that women in real life, and the same way in films, when you were narrated a role, were recognized by the relationship they had. They never spoke about what your character is. What is your character? You are the hero's mother.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly like that.
I
You are
couldn't
the
agree
heroine's friend. What? Who is she but? What is this person? And when you're doing something like this on a platform like Netflix, there is so much to explore. And they're finally giving women their importance. It's age appropriate. And I think it has a big deal to do with a platform like that makes its own stars.
Who's consuming the content, Bill? I think Anil made a very good point about the millennials and the next generation. But India being such a complex market, and I know that you also have tried the mobile-only viewing service. I know that the prices have been moderated a little of late. Is that an attempt to also woo again, I say regional audiences? Let's say outside of the urban metros, or how would you look at expanding your reach? Because we're all looking at subscriber numbers at the end of the day. You know how it is. And of course, we all know that Netflix has an edge in terms of entertainment and creativity. But in terms of the target audience, what would you say is going to be the driving force here in India?
So because, globally we have over 220 million members, right, that the goal is, right, we want to entertain everyone around the world. And we also recognize that people have a wide variety of tastes. And so for us, the variety and quality has always been very important, because you may want to watch Bollywood Wives, and you may want to watch Indian Matchmaker, or Too Hot to Handle, or Love Is Blind, and you also may want to watch Queen's Gambit and Delhi Crime, right, and So there's a wide range of tastes and mood. I'm sure you go home sometimes and you're like, I'm in the mood for something light and a comedy. I'm in the mood for a drama. And so for us, the most important thing is really having a variety in those in the shows that we do. Each super serving and being hopefully best in class of that kind of show. And so when we look at just Indian consumers, right, again, lots of different tastes, and I think if you look at even the titles here that we've mentioned, right, there's a great variety in roles and tones and mood and what those things are. So for us, we want to have everybody's favorite show or everybody's favorite movie, and we want you to be able to find it. We want you to be able to find in India, whoever you are, whichever region and part of the country you are in, that you find local things that you love, right? Maybe in your own specific language, maybe in another regional language, you find a global, a show not, not in your language. And so we want to be there for everybody. So it's not targeted. We don't look at sort of demos in that way, right? We really look at tastes.
Our friend Elon Musk has been talking about, Netflix choosing what he calls woke issues. And I'm not saying his is the last word on the subject, but how do you go about choosing? And would you say that's a fair criticism, or how would you respond?
We have, again, I think when I'm saying that we have such a wide variety of shows, right? And again, so in every category. Unscripted, reality, doc series, films, scripted shows, in all of these different languages. So those all start with the creators behind the camera. What do people want to say? What is the thing they want to do? We're an entertainment company. We entertain people, and that is always first and foremost what we actually do. Do we love that the amount of storytelling we do in all the countries we do, that we have people from different backgrounds and different points of view and bringing different visions of storytelling? We do. I love that that's more inclusive. We just have more volume. We can do that. We can have storytellers from all around the world from different backgrounds. So it doesn't have to be the same kind of thing. So I think, when I look at that, we just have a wide variety of shows and movies that are so different, right, from each other, and always with the goal of entertaining. Some have themes that could resonate, right? That can be, some things are very full on entertainment. Some things can be thought provoking in a different way, kind of through entertainment. But for me, it really is, we have a wide variety of shows with lots of different visions behind the camera.
Similarly, the potential of the Indian shows making it to the global audience. And I think Maya is already making waves in certain global markets, I hear. So, talk to us about the success of that. And for you as well, as an actress, what you're looking forward to next.
This was very liberating, this kind of an opportunity. I mean, this is what an actor, like Shefali said, keeps waiting for, that you've been in the industry for so many years, and yet somewhere you're not taken seriously because of a certain medium you come from or the kind of roles you've been doing. But honestly, where are the opportunities? So this gave me the chance to showcase something that I had never done earlier, and I'm really humbled with the response it has got. Honestly, I wasn't expecting it, although everybody kept telling me that, listen, this is Netflix, okay? And for me, that was the biggest thing, because you've been doing so much work. You try to give your best to each and every scene, even if it's a one-line thing, even if it's like a one shot, you try to give your 100%, but how many people are watching it? And how are they going to accept it? That's the biggest thing. And I think with I hope it does to me what Delhi Crime did to Shefali. That is.
Well, it will.
Because that's what an actor always wants. You want to be taken seriously as an actor, and you want the makers to throw challenges at you, and that's the whole journey of an actor, I feel.
So Bella, and I know we've just got a couple of minutes, but you're here in India, and it shows the importance of the Indian market for Netflix globally. And we know that Netflix has been in the news for other reasons, with everyone wondering about additions globally and so forth. But how important is India going to be in that strategy?
India is very important in the strategy. Again, we want to have members around the world. India has this incredible creative community, incredible history of storytelling. You can see by the talent on this panel and the performances that they give. And I think it's lovely, right, when we talk about sort of Netflix as a service and the power of that. There is that because of the global platform. But the service without these performances, it does not work. And so, right, Netflix as a service plus these kinds of talent and these performances is really sort of what have members so excited about what Netflix does, and that's why people sort of choose to come there for the great storytelling. So India is a very important part of our global story about the growth.
And Indian content you feel is going to be globally at par going forward? Will we see more and more of it? Is that the plan in terms of
Yes, I mean,
increased amount of production?
There's been great investment in India. I think what is really exciting, I think if I just, go back a few months of really looking at this amazing content that sort of, has been coming out very steadily. If you take Aranyak and Fame Game and Kapil Sharma, and we've had sort of, this variety of shows, for sure coming out. And now obviously recently and the amount of conversation that's happening in other countries, outside of India. So I think, and you look at everything that's coming up with absolute fan favorites of returning seasons, like with Delhi Crime and Jamtara, and these films with Monica My Darling and Thar coming out, like the quality of these movies and TV shows are amazing, and that's what we want. At Netflix, we don't do anything else. We have no other business except storytelling. That is all we do.
That's why we love it.
And that is the core. We want to make the best-in-class TV shows and movies, and the talent in India is extraordinary. And the investment is, a big one and a big commitment to India. And I think it's, the team on the ground is why we have local teams on the ground, who can really be part of the local creative community. And it's a very important part of our company and our growth.
What do you feel are the challenges and opportunities of building, globally at par content from India? Anil?
I think we all are work in progress, and we are learning. And you're understanding. Like, for example, Bella coming here has motivated me. It's inspired me. I'm being very honest with you. I'm listening to her. I'm understanding. And I'm sure, people who have experience on world stage come here and motivate us. India has always been slow. But when it comes with a bang. So I feel somewhere I've done, Thar, I've done AK versus AK. And we all are going to do much better work. And her husband is a, content creator. Raj is a machine. He can work around the clock. I worked with Sakshi. She's terrific. I've done a show with her. And, there's great talent, as she said. And she's come here. And I'm sure that's a great future for all of us. So
I agree. The bang is coming.
Bang is coming.
The bang is coming. I agree.
The bang is coming, yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're all vested in Netflix's journey, so we wish you all the best, and we thank you for taking the time out today. It was fabulous speaking with all of you, some of India's finest talent, all in one room, sharing with us the future of entertainment and what it looks like. Thank you once again, and thanks for joining us here on India Today.
You are watching India Today.
Our world is filled with many items made of plastic. We use plastics on an everyday basis. But how can you make plastic? And how can we recycle it? Most plastic can be made from hydrocarbons present in natural gas, oil and coal. They're made up of chains of molecules linked together called polymers. There are two main families of polymers. Thermoplastics, accounting for some 80% of global plastic consumption. They melt when heated and then harden when cooled. They can be recycled. Thermosets are substances that set permanently when heated. In 1950, the industry produced 2 million tons of plastic per year. Plastic can be made into a huge variety of useful products. But here's the rub. Millions of tons of plastic end up in the ocean and landfill sites every year. A plastic beverage bottle takes more than 400 years to degrade. Less than 10% of plastic waste is currently recycled. Why? Because of the chemical complexity of polymers. Recycling presents major technical and environmental challenges. So in the end, it can be cheaper to make new plastic than to actually recycle it. So what can be done to help solve the problem? Massive investment in so-called bioplastics. Natural polymers from agricultural waste and biodegradable plastics. The use of high-quality recyclable plastics. high taxes on plastics production, pressure on corporations to stop using plastic altogether and invest in alternative packaging.
You are watching India Today.
Killer robots sound like something out of a science fiction horror film, but advances in technology mean that fully autonomous weapons could one day become a reality, transforming warfare. Autonomous weapons, which use artificial intelligence to select targets, are already being developed, aimed at reducing cost and risk to human soldiers, while increasing speed and efficiency in action. Unlike drones, which are operated by humans, killer robots would have some autonomous decision-making ability and capacity to act. Fully autonomous weapons will be capable of acting without any human intervention. They have been described as the third revolution in warfare after gunpowder and nuclear arms. Some of the world's most prominent scientists believe that fully autonomous weapons pose an unacceptable threat to humanity and could trigger an artificial intelligence arms race. In April 2013, a group of non-governmental organizations launched the Campaign to Stop Killer Robots, an international coalition working to ban fully autonomous weapons. The International Committee for Robot Arms Control, meanwhile, campaigns for the peaceful use of robotics and regulation of robot weapons.
When it's the world's biggest news story, there's only one gold standard of journalism. When it's the world's biggest news story, there's only one gold standard of journalism.
You are watching India Today. You are watching India Today.
You're watching India Today with me, Nabila Jamal, taking you through